Hi guys, I'm Vishwaraj Gupta. I'm a data engineer. Today I'm going to speak about DataBrew. So it's a part of AWS Glue. It is called as AWS Glue DataBrew. So guys, it's a virtual data preparation tool. So it has an interactive point and click virtual, visual interface. So, but the best thing about this, it doesn't need or require any coding. So basically it is a kind of Excel, advanced Excel spreadsheet with some easy to do transformation. So since everybody knows that, data preparation takes up to like more than, 80% of your time and, you do a lot of work before moving it to data warehouse and, ETL process, those steps could be complicated. So here data brew is basically to, import and then clean it and, normalize your data. So it does a lot of exploratory data analysis for deeper insights. So let me show you how it looks like. So if you just press data brew, it will show you AWS Glue DataBrew. So this is how it looks. And to work on DataBrew, you need data source. So DataBrew can connect to your like S3, Redshift data. It could be RDS data. It could be, Aurora or Glue catalog as well. So and you need IAM role to connect your S3 bucket where your data is located. So there should be proper communication. All these things which you do in all the other services of AWS, you need to have AWS, IAM role, which is must. You need S3 bucket if you are grabbing data from that S3 bucket. So in this demo, I'm gonna take, my source data from S3 bucket, and even you should have S3 bucket for output as well in any situation. So once we'll start the project, you know you'll see that how we can have like more than 250 plus inbuilt transformation things like join, merge, group, everything like Excel, pivot, etc., and all everything just without coding. So let me show you. So once you have, the first step is data sets. So let's go to data sets. So I'm gonna grab data set from my S3 bucket. So let me show you S3 path. As you can see, there are a lot of data source. You can grab it from Redshift table, RDS tables, so there are a lot of options. Since it's a new product, it there might be some new changes upcoming in near future, but as of now these are the ones. And mostly I believe a lot of people, they want to grab data from S3 and to make some analysis. So guys, let me speak about this dataset part. So in dataset, you have to import where your data is located, and then this data brew will do some analysis. So as you can see, there is S3 path and parameterized S3 path. So S3 path, which I'm going to use right now. So for example, I have a lot of buckets here, and I'm going to take source bucket, and I'm gonna go to data brew folder, and then I'm gonna click first file. So once you'll click the file, it will automatically create dataset name. You can you can just edit your database name accordingly, but I'm gonna keep it like this. So I'm gonna, before I'll select create dataset, I want to tell you something about parameterized S3 path. Guys, this is very important because sometimes you have a lot of folders, which have different files. So this one, with the help of with the help of regular expression, some using parameters, you can grab all those files. So let me share a PPT where I have mentioned few examples. So if in parameterized area, if you'll mention, for example, I have S3 bucket. In my bucket, there is data brew folder, and in that folder, inside folder, there is songs data 2011, and inside that folder, there is a lot of data, data 1, data 2, data 3, as so on. So if I want to grab just this data, that's it. I'll just mention it in the S3 column, but there was another column S3, parameterized here, this one. So in that case, if you just want to go with the simple one, since I had to select, just that data, so I've just mentioned this path. But if in case you select parameterize, you have an option to grab more data, which is in sync with those folder. For example, songs data, you want 2011, you want even 2012 until 2015. So you can mention this data. For example, if in one folder there is data from starting from 2011 until 2015, so simply you can just mention less than dot star and greater than sign, and that's it. It will grab all those figures which is coming after data. So all those years will be covered, and plus here whatever data is inside that folder, it will grab automatically. Plus, if in case you have songs plus top charts, songwriters data, and you think that, okay, let me create another filter where it will grab all the folders which are related to data. So in this case, it will grab all the years plus all the other folders which are related to like songs or top charts. So you see that there is a filter, feature which will help you if in case you have, in future you will create so many folders to, just accommodate all your data set into in a proper format. So this will help you a lot. So let me go back to the set. So as of now, I have selected first data set. That's it. Let me create this data set. So now it is here in the data set. Now I want to connect. So I'm gonna grab two data sets as of now. I will show you why. So now I'll go again. I'll go to my source and I'll go again to my folder. You can simply, you can put here as well directly, but just to show you complete demo, I'm going through like this. So I'm gonna select this file. So first data I had selected, it was this one. Now I'm selecting this one. It's a CSV file. Treat first row as header. Yes. So I'm gonna create another data set. So guys, I have got two data sets now. That's it. So now your data sets part is ready. So now let's go to projects, create project. So guys, let's create new project here. Okay, let me mention issue DataBrew. So once I've mentioned the project name, you can see the recipe name has already been created. So what is a recipe? So guys, a recipe, it's like kind of, when you make any dish, you put a lot of stuff, and sometimes if you're making any chicken curry or anything, that, okay, this masala, this much salt, and so this is kind of recipe for this project, that what all transformations, what all steps you're going to use. So that recipe is used for that, particular project. But you can, if you want to publish that recipe, you can do that. For example, you're going to create some transformation that I'm going to, once this file is uploaded, I'm going to delete this column, and then I'm going to merge third and fourth column. I'm going to split sixth column. So this will create a recipe with all those steps. So this is how recipe will work. So you can create new recipe, and there is an option. If you had created, previously like any other recipe, then you can, like use the existing recipe. So that's the advantage of this recipe. Now, as you can see, the data sets I had uploaded, they are appearing here. So first data set, I'm gonna select this one. Okay, so I'm gonna select this one. You have an option if you want to select, first rows, like it depends how many rows do you want to select. You can select even the custom size. So I'm gonna select top 1,000 rows. Okay, you don't need tags. But as I had mentioned, you need role name. So I had already created Vishu Data Brew service role. So this has to connect your, Glue and your S3 bucket as well. So once it is connected, everything is there. You have connected your data set, you have given your project name, your recipe name, your first data is connected, you're selecting first thousand rows, your AM role. So let's create project. So guys, it does take time since it is going to, grab that data and make some analysis. So just to tell you, you can see how it works and this is the kind of, excuse me, this is the kind of structure, it comes up and you can see there are so many features. And as I had mentioned earlier, there are more than 250, plus inbuilt transformations. So join, merge, like kind of Excel stuff. As you can see, it is taking time, but it, it is just, initiating this session and making sure that all the data grab is coming into that format, the format it's gonna show you. So guys, there is this recipe, there is this jobs area. So jobs area I'm gonna come later. So recipe, once you'll create the recipe, your recipe is here. Let me cross this area. Now you have big screen. So guys, you can see your bike ID, your start time, your stop time, start station ID, start station latitude, longitude, user type, what type of user, birth year of that user, and gender. So guys, I've just taken this dummy data just to showcase few things. So guys, here I'm gonna click on schema. So as you can see, grid, this is the grid, this is the schema. So you can see your metadata, data types. You can change your metadata, you can change all your data types if you want to. You just have to, once you'll grab the data, always make sure that you come to schema and just to check if all your column names are fine. If you want to hide any column, you can do it from here. You know, you can check the data quality. You can even check how many distinct values are there, how many, unique values, how many total values are there. As you can see, I had selected 1,000 values, so it's coming now 1,000 values. So guys, isn't it amazing? I mean, you can see the whole data in such a nice shape. So here is the schema, here is the profile. So once we'll create the grid, so once we'll make some changes, you'll see how profile changes. So guys, let's click on the recipe. So recipe, the name, if you remember, the recipe name was there in the project. So in this recipe, whatever changes you're gonna make, it will get saved in this recipe. So let's see if it works. What is in more? Import recipe. So for example, if you have some old recipes, you can import here and then it will eventually, make that data, the transformation accordingly. And there is another point, add step. So you can see there are all everywhere. There is like 250 plus, inbuilt transformations. So there are a lot of, pivot, group by, join. It's, it just mentioned and everything is there. Even the math functions, you can create some custom columns. Guys, a lot of things are there. Okay, so let's click on recipe. So guys, let's start. First thing I really want to do, I don't want this time here. So from start time, let's split. Okay, let's split on a single delimiter, on multiple delimiters. If you guys are working in this one, you guys would know definitely how it works. So let me start this one. So guys, as you can see, let's use single delimiter. I'm gonna take space delimiter. As you can see, there is just space between date and time. So I'm gonna use single delimiter here. So what is the column name? Column name is start time. Using delimiters, enter custom value or enter regex value. I'm gonna just simply, I've just, I'm just using space here. I don't want to use include delimiter. Number of times to split, just one. Yes, I'm going to do transformation to all the rows. And guys, the best thing here, you can even preview changes, before you want to apply here. Even if you'll apply, there will be an undo feature, where you can just go back. But it's better if you just want to have a look. You can always, click on preview, and this will show you how start time 1, start time 2. So as you can see, date is here and time is here. All right, so let's apply this one. So guys, you can see once you'll apply here in recipe, our first transformation is here. So you can edit it here, you can delete it. So it depends. So guys, as you can see, so start time, so date is here, and start time 2, our time is here. So what now, I don't want this time here. So what I'll do, I'll go to schema and I'll just hide this column because I don't want to see this column in this one. So, I'm gonna do the same thing with this one. So I'm gonna select here, or maybe I won't do it here. Let's don't, so since I've shown you this one transformation, let's step on another transformation. So guys, as you can see in recipe, one transformation is done. So now let's do another transformation. I want to merge two columns. You can do even the duplicates, you can split, merge. So let's create merge here. So source column. So I can show you the column I'm gonna merge. So I'm gonna merge subscriber and birth year. It doesn't make any sense, but I just want to show you how it looks here. So I'm gonna click user type. I'm gonna click birth here. You have an option like you can select as many columns you want. Separator, I'll use minus sign, merged column 1. I can name it anything. I'll say yes, merge trial, all rows, yes. So we can do preview changes as well. I'm gonna select apply for this one. So guys, here it looks subscriber, and as you can see, our subscriber and year are gone because since we have merged, so I do not want this type. I wanted another column, a new column, but I still needed all those, previous, the columns which were there already. So what I'm gonna do, so I'm gonna do edit here. I'm gonna go back to this one. So as you can see, there is start time. Oops, we are using, I guess by mistake I've pressed this one. So let's go to recipe again. Okay, so by mistake I selected the first transformation we did. I'm gonna go here, edit. So as you can see, we have selected two columns here, separator, new column name, and there is merge columns and create a new column. So select two or more columns in the order to merge. So what it is doing, it is going to merge, and I won't be getting my previous columns. So what we can do, we can create duplicate columns. Let's create duplicate columns here. Let's go to schema. As you can see, there is the start time, we hid it, and then there is this one, bike ID, start time 2. And since we have merged this one, it is here, so we'll have to go back to our grid. And what we can do, we can go to recipe and we can just delete this one. Yes. So guys, if you see, I've deleted that step. So guys, as you can see, our user type birth here is now back. So what do I need? I want to merge these two columns, plus I still need birth here as a separate column. Yes, if they take user type away from this table, I don't mind, but I still need birth here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create a duplicate column for birth here. So as you can see here, there is column value. So if you'll click on column value, there is this duplicate. So I'm gonna create duplicate search column birth here. Yes, I'm gonna create birth here copy. I'm gonna apply change here, and you're gonna see there will be two birth here columns, birth here and birth here copy. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna select merge again, and I'm gonna click on two columns, that is user type and birth here. So let's see how it happens, and I'm gonna use minus sign here, merged column 1. Let's apply here. So guys, you can see merge column subscriber and year is there, and there is birth year copy. So now what I have to do, I have to rename this one. I want to rename it, and you can just mention birth year here. So as you can see, our merge column is here, our birth year is still same, I've just renamed it. So guys, you can see all these steps are getting noted here, so it's in your recipe. So your recipe, it depends what all things you're gonna do. It will do the same procedure for another table as well. So once you'll save this recipe and you have the same structure of table, you can just replicate all these changes using this recipe. So this recipe gonna be here once you'll save it. So we haven't published it yet, so it's still in the project. So as of now, we are working on this project. So guys, you see that I just clicked on recipe and my project has gone. So don't worry, just click on the same project and you'll come back to that shape. All right, guys. So if you remember, I selected two tables from my bucket. Why did I choose two tables? Because I wanted to make a join. So let's see if we can join. For example, in that table, there are some other details which are not here in this table. So let's see. So I'm gonna select here. So if you remember, I selected two data sets in the project in the beginning. So this time I'm gonna select DataBrew. So since it's a join, it will show you the data set and my bike ID is there. But in here, in my data set 1, there is no station name. And station name is there in my dataset 2, which I have just imported right now. And there is bike ID, which is the what we can say primary key. So here it's unique ID. What I'm gonna do join, I'm gonna use bike ID as a join. So let's click on next. So what type of join do I need? So I have two data sets here. So let's grab bike ID from here and let's grab bike ID from here. So now, since our bike ID is here located, so what do we need to do? So what do I need? I need table A as it is, but I want selected bike ID. So let's select inner join. You can use, depends what type of join you're looking for. So I'm gonna select left join here, and I do not want all the columns. So my join key is bike ID, but I'm looking for station name. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna deselect all these columns and I'm gonna click on finish. So let's see guys how it looks, and let me close recipe for now. You can see bike ID, start time, everything is same. Start time 2 is there, stop time. Guys, remember we hit this column, but it's coming back because we had to use join. So in join, it takes all the columns, and stop time is there, latitude, longitude is there, our merged column, which we created, our birth year is still there, gender was there, plus we have got station name. That's good. So we have got station name, and let's see in the schema. So in the schema, you can see, okay, so you see the columns which we didn't select from dataset 2 are not coming here. So we don't have to hide it. So it's good because we do not want so many columns there. Yes, I do not want this start time too, where it is just mentioned time plus how many values are there. There were 1,000 values, and again there are 1,000 values as of now as well, which is a good thing. Everything is good. So I'm gonna go back to grid. So guys, these are the changes which I have done. You can even use group. You can even create, remove duplicates. There are so many functions you can use. So this video, I do not want to explain all the transformation rules here. Maybe I can create another video for that, but I just wanted to show you the whole project as a demo, like in a short version, like what all things we can do with this one. And I want to show another part of this one. So let's go to our recipe. So guys, this recipe here, it's all done. Plus in datasets, I want to go to datasets, it's all there. If I want to project, it's all there. So guys, I guess everything is there. So I want to showcase another steps. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create job. So guys, this is the step here. So before that job, I'm gonna show you one slide here, and then I'm gonna speak about lineage here. So let me show you one slide which speaks about job. So running the job, it actually does the processing and automation. So the table hasn't been created yet. All the steps are there. We have created a recipe. We have taken the source data, but job does the complete processing. There are going to be two types of jobs: profile job and recipe job. So profile job, if you just select profile job, it is good. For example, before your, all the transformation and all the steps, if you want to see the overview of your table, of your database, you're going to select profile job, and it will show you the steps to analyze data. If you want to plan that what all transformations you require, so it will show you overview of that table. And if you select recipe job, then it is the one which does the whole work. It's going to do the transformation, the whole automation after recipe job. So job configuration, let me share these ones as well. So nodes, there are default 5 nodes in there, but you can use 10 nodes, and it depends how much is your data, how much power do you need, and you can mention number of tries, you can schedule it whenever you want. You can use even Lambda to trigger on events, and the format. So once you'll do the transformation and once you'll run this job, you have an option to, get compressed or non-compressed files. So you can even, like, if you want compressed CSV, if you want non-compressed CSV, GZ, you can use Snappy, XML, JSON, it depends on you. So this is kind of small overview for job. And now I'm going back to the project. Now I'm going to show you lineage. So lineage is basically, guys, it shows you how data came here and what all steps you did. So I used, S3 bucket. I created DataBrew data 1. I used a DataBrew as a data 2, like these two sets I had uploaded from my S3 bucket, and then I created the project, and then there is recipe as well. So it is, as of now, it is looking very simple, but once you'll create, from different sources, once you'll grab your data from different sources, if you are using Redshift, if you are using RDS, they're going to be a different step process. So this lineage, it is always good to have a screenshot of it so that you can share it with your manager, with your colleagues, that how this data is actually working, how this whole process is working. So let me show you in recipes. So we haven't got a recipe yet. So once we'll run this project, or if you want to publish that recipe, you can do that. So there is this button here. So if I'll click on this one, this recipe will get published. And in future, if you are creating any new project, you can grab this recipe in the project, and that process, all the steps will, will implemented on that project, on that data set. So you don't have to do manually all those steps. So this is an advantage here. So I'm not going to publish here, but yes, you can easily, publish it here, and you'll have your recipe saved here. So guys, this is our project. So I'm going to tell you now about the jobs. So before I'll create a job, as you can see here, you'll have to mention your job type, recipe job, create a profile job, as I have told you. But we are not creating job by coming here. We're going to go to our projects. We're going to click here, and then we'll click on run job. So as you can see, our data set is here and even our recipe is here. So make sure that you go on your project, and then from there you have to select run job. You can give here issue data brew. You can mention your location. So I'm gonna mention output here. So if you remember, I imported those data sets from source one. Now I'm gonna export here in output. Advanced job setting, maximum number of units. So for example, I'm gonna use just 10. Job timeout is there, number of tries, let's keep it 2. I always suggest to enable your CloudWatch logs, associated schedules. It's all right. I'm gonna run right away. That's it. You're gonna the IAM role you had created at that time. So once everything is done, you can create and run job. But before that, I want to show you, if you go to project, always run your jobs from here, as I've already told you, but I'm gonna show you jobs separately as well. Jobs. So as I was telling you about recipe job and profile job, as I guess I'll mention it here in the presentation, but this is kind of demo. I just want to share it with you. As you saw that it didn't appear in that project page when I created job from there, because these two things are new. For example, once you upload your data, you will get profile of your data table. It's not just about the project, it's also about you want to get an overview of that database before even going and creating any project or doing any transformation. So for that purpose, you'll just select your data sets here. I just, for the first time, I just want to see how it looks, what all transformations I can do, and then I'll just create a simple, profile job, and it will get saved in there, my bucket. So it depends what kind of project you are looking for. And once you have gone through your profile job, then you can actually start your projects. You can create this project, and then what all steps are there, then it depends, what all things you require to, what all transformations you are looking for. So guys, everything gonna be there. Recipe, if you'll publish your recipe, it will be saved here. All your projects will be here. All your jobs gonna be here. So I didn't go for any job yet. All your data sets are here if you are going to use your data sets again and again. It depends if you want to keep them or if you want to delete them. So guys, this was a small demo. I will definitely come up with next level of data brew. So that's it from my side, guys. Thank you very much.